Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and today I'm very excited to present you all with one of the funnest characters you're going to play in this game, Kater, and she's just getting her FRBT tonight. I'm recording this live on my live stream. Shout out to everybody here tonight. Oh, also somebody in the chat on my live stream, when I'm done with this character guide, someone give me an update. How many people do we have in chat tonight? Because I can't see that number. I would love to know how many people showed up tonight. I'm hoping we hit at least 100, right? Somebody who noticed like my high number, I'd like to know that. But anyways, you guys here watching on YouTube, you want to know, well, what's up with Kater? What does she do? How good is she? So if you're unfamiliar, just the general thing with Kater is she is an evade counter character. So she's a dodge tank that does good counter damage. She just does so much. She's got freeze in her kit. She's got traps. She's got double counters. She gives party-wide evade. She's insane. She does so much and she's so good. I think she's a really excellent character for people to have in their box. I would say the only players that don't need her are veterans that have plenty of counter tank options already, or like tanks in general. But for a new player, I think she's an excellent pickup. And even for veterans, she's excellent because she's going to be really good and a lot of fun, right? So in this video, we're going to look at her calls, her artifacts, and her spheres. And we'll start with the calls. I think her calls are actually very good. So triple slip here is just an instant turn rate attack. Nothing too crazy. I don't know if the call actually force charges. It might. But for Kater herself, she actually force charges with this, which is great. But this is going to be an ice enchant to the caller. It's going to be a turn rate up and an evasion 70% up. So this is just nice to give, like for a character, you can give them some dodge. Which is cool, but the main reason her calls are good are the LD. The LD is super awesome. The LD is going to Ice Enchant just to the self, Overflow Stolen to the self, but it is going to Ice and Peril, and then the big thing is you get a debuff called Frost Stilling Shot, and this is a freeze debuff, which is one of the most powerful debuffs in the game, and this is a 3-turn freeze. And basically, if you're not familiar with what freeze does, makes it so the enemies can't gain Brave. And if they can't gain Brave, they can't HP damage you. So it's pretty much like a 3-turn safety net that you're not going to take damage. And we always tout like how good the Raijin call is because they can't hurt you. Well, that's only 2 turns. The only thing that makes Raijin like better than this is that Raijin also stops debuffs. Whereas this won't stop debuffs, except you have that 70% evasion to like the character that used it. But this is 3 turns that like the party isn't taking HP damage. Very, very good call. I think it's one that I personally have underutilized, but it is a very good call. So if you get Kater just LD only, it's a great call you can use. But I do would want to encourage people that if you're pulling here, you do want to try to max her out because she's incredible. So let's go ahead and look at her artifacts and her spheres. Now, Kater is what we call a cursed artifact character. And what that means is there was a point in the game where when they did character reworks, they wanted to do it through the artifacts instead of just giving it to you. And there was quite the outlash on this because back then artifacts were very hard to farm. And even today, like if you don't have a Mog Pass, it can still take you a while to farm good artifacts. And people didn't like that they had to farm for the rework essentially, right? So there were only 6 characters that ever got these types of artifacts. And then since then they scrapped that and just gave reworks, right? So these cursed characters have very strong artifacts that it's even more important that you farm the correct ones. Now, she has 2 cursed artifacts. Her cursed artifacts are buff attack boost up, which is max brave and attack by 20%, which is a huge number. The other one is charged Blizzara ROK triple slip, which gives you her 15 and 35 get an extra skill use. And then, and that's it. It's just skill use. So here's the thing. Back in the day, you always wanted double cursed artifacts, but in today's game, skill use isn't really an issue. So you don't really need the charged Blizzard ROK and triple slip, but you need buff boost attack up. So what you want is you want attack 108 and buff attack boost up. This is the combo you want. So if you have 3 of these, you're getting 3 attack 108s, and you're getting max brave and attack by 60%. That is a fat chunk number. So you don't want to go without that 60% max brave and attack. So you have to make sure you farm up 3 buff attack boost up, if anything else. If you have at least that comboed with anything, you're good. But try to combo it with attack 108. But it's super important you get that, because it's way more impactful than a normal character's artifacts, because once again, that was meant to be her rework back in the day. Okay. Then we have spheres. So a couple of things with her is she does do weakness damage. So weakness damage triggers are fine. You want to focus on attack and brave damage. She has a mixed kit, which has some ranged, some magic. She kind of want to avoid, I mean, she's primarily magic attack, but there's some ranged in there. So I would not give her magic attack up. I would not give her ranged attack up. Just give her straight attack up, or give her brave damage or some combo of that, or attack max brave. Pretty much my normal A slot recommendations. I think in particular, 8s is really good, because I'm pretty sure 8 is like a 15% attack up on a dodge, which is something not a lot of characters can trigger, but Cater can, and she can trigger it well. Now, the only reason I don't have 8 on my Cater is that I gave her other full spheres that I think are good enough. But if I were to redo her, I would put 8 on there. So I put her own on her, which is an Eye Brave and attack 10% on dodge. That's definitely good enough to use. 10% attack alone is awesome. Then I have Trey, which is a Max Brave attack combo. Very good. We'll take attack Max Brave combos. E slot on weakness damage characters, I love Pain. Pain is amazing. Party attack up and lowering enemy attack, especially on like a tank type character, so good. Because Cater's going to dodge, but other party members, you want that attack down so they don't take as much damage. But Cater's going to also have party-wide evade, which is awesome. But I do like Pain here. Very, very good to give that attack up to the party. Now, you could give her debuffs, because E-slots you can add debuffs in. So if you want to throw down like a poison, or give her like maybe put an extra attack down on the enemy, stuff like that can be good. The only reason why I would say maybe avoid attack down is because she's going to give party-wide evasion, so the enemy attack won't really matter other than non-dodgeable stuff. But if the enemy has too much non-dodgeable stuff, you're probably not running her. And then you really want to avoid speed down, because that defeats the purpose. You want the enemies taking a lot of turns with a character like this, so you definitely don't want to speed down the enemies, and you don't want to speed yourself up. So I'd say if you do a debuff, something like a poison would probably be fine, or a defense down. But defense downs aren't that important, right? So I would say go for like a poison or an attack down, or just stick with like, once again, Pain, or you could do a different E-slot attack up, right? All right, so with that, I think we're ready. So we're hopping in on the Kelger fight. I'm running, so people were asking me before on my live stream before I did this, what's a good team comp for Cater? Something like this is an incredible team comp. This is what I call a really good off-turn comp. Now, the thing you have to keep in mind is we have a lot of counter tanks like Oron, Gladio, 8, Kelger, right? We got a lot of these Rubicante. The problem with running them together is that a lot of them are going to be fighting for getting hits, because most counter tanks will only counter if they get hit. And so, for example, Cater has lock, but then Kelger has lock. And then Oron is going to try to cover tank you, right? And it's going to make other characters less effective. The only time you can run those characters together effectively is if you know the enemy is doing a lot of all attacks. If they're doing all attacks, then everybody's getting hit and works fine. But if you're doing standard fights where there's going to be a mix of single target and all attacks, you don't want to have characters competing for the hits. So a team comp like what I've got here is amazing. So in general, Reno, if you got him, and you have to have his BT, he's excellent on any defense comp because he himself does not counter, but his BT delays the party, which is incredibly useful. Okay. Then what you can do is, if you don't want to put another counter tank because you don't want them to fight with each other, you throw on like a trap character or an off-turn character. So an example here would be like Beatrix is a trap-based character, right? Or you could do something like Minwoo. Minwoo's really good trap character, right? Trey, LD budget option you could throw in there, right? Or you do an off-turn character like Core. Core's going to work really well here and give you extra damage. So what you want to do for like a good Cater team is you start with Cater. If you got Reno, great. Otherwise, you pair her with other characters that do off-turn damage that do not require they themselves to be hit, right? And that's kind of what you want to do. Celis comes to mind. She's got traps, right? So there's tons of great options you can pair out there. So a couple of ways you can run. So let's say you don't have Reno, right? A couple options you can do is you could just throw in like a generic support character, or you can just do 2 trap-based characters. So why not do Minwoo and Beatrix, right? Something like that. You're going to go crazy. It's going to be fun. So anyways, without further ado, we just need to hop in. So the Kelger fight is going to be very aggressive. It's built for an evade counter character anyways. Obviously the big disclaimer with a character like Cater, is if the boss cancels dodging, you're probably not going to want to run here. Sure, E-Daddy. Well, shout out to E-Daddy. We'll grab E-Daddy selfie here in case I decide I want to throw down launch. I don't know if I'll do that. I'll probably be overkill. And by the way, Cater being force 50 is so nice. So nice. I'm going to tell you right now, very easy prediction. We're not going to need force retain here. We're going to blow this fight up pretty dang hard, pretty quick. Actually, to the point where I think I'm going to open with the Cater BT just so I can show her stuff off to you. And then we'll just go into counter shenanigans, I think. Let's actually just open with selfie. And we'll just take some free ramp. I'm going to decide not to put on launching. That's overkill. I don't think we need to overkill this fight. And once again, it's meant to be more off turn where you're not going to initiate launches anyways. So we'll just abuse selfie for her ramp. And this is a fight that does keep up very good, right? Like you can see our ramp is, we're not staying too far ahead of these guys. Oh, and they're stealing turns, which is fine. Except I don't have Cater out. But we are still getting counters, sure. Oh, and it's because they hit a threshold. That's why that came in. All right. It's going to be embarrassing if I die here because I didn't have the right character out. Because she's supposed to be locking and they're going to be hitting her. But I just want to get through some ramps. Already a miscalculation. As long as we can get there before their next threshold. Get selfie off the board here. Jeez. All right, let's get selfie off the board. All right, there we go. Back to Cater. All right, so let me start with Cater's triple slip because I know that's going to be free. And actually, I'm gonna do this too. We're going to throw this sucker down. Just because I know they're going to keep off-turning me, and we just want to shut that down. All right. They're aggressive, though. That's good. That's what I want. All right, so let's open with triple slip. So this is, she actually force charges. Watch this. Triple slip. Yeah, 10%. Full 10%. So good. All right, so let's look at their off-turn. You're going to see some counters right away here. So, bam, we're going to get a miss, and there's a counter. And, dude, 500K on the counter for her is so good. Yeah, miss. We'll take the counter. Nice. All right. So that's just, she's just getting that right out of the gate, right? So let's talk about what we got here. So we started with triple slip. This is going to be a Brave gain scaled on Eye Brave. So this is why her own sphere can be decent because you're getting Eye Brave and attack on it. And Eye Brave will help that Brave gain, right? She gets a free instant turn and it force charges, which is very important. She gets an attack up and then a buff called Charge and Dodge. Charge and Dodge is a super important buff to upkeep, so you don't want to lose it. It's attack 50% up, max Brave 80%, evasion 80% up, and then raises her turn rate and it ice enchants, okay? So that's going to give her dodge ability, which you really want. And then what I'm going to do is, yeah, I think I'm just going to hop into the burst. Let's do it. That way it'll help me like beat them to force and all that too. So now let's go ahead and let's do her charge shot max charge, right? So her charge shot max charge, let me just find it here. It's going to be a 9 HP dump, right? So what happens is she has a buff called Magic Charge, which we're going to talk about later. But that's where this HP plus comes from, okay? This is going to be a 9 HP dump. It's going to fill the EX gauge by 20%. It's going to revert to level 1 after use, okay? But you kind of level this up as you attack. And then as you get this leveled up, you can use it for big damage. So this might be like outside of BTFR attacks, this might be like her strongest like normal button. So let's do max charge and it's gonna be 9 dumps. Let's take a look at it here. Yeah, 1.5 mil. I mean, for her, that's good. And we don't have other BT effects up. So we'll definitely take it. So let's say you're starting out the fight normally. You usually want to open up with Blizzara ROK. So this can be an AoE attack. Okay. And you can see like a mill with just a little bit on the side. Not the strongest, right? But once again, with these counter characters, you don't expect good on-turn damage. They're going to do so much off-turn, it's crazy. But the reason why you want to open up with Blizzara ROK is it puts lockdown. And you want to make sure the enemies are locked onto her because everything single target, it's going to come at her and she's going to dodge it, which is what you want. And it's just ice damage. It has high turn rate, so you can jump up in the turn order possibly. And then just, once again, just an okay-ish AoE attack. Then triple slip you already saw. We'll pop it again for a little bit charge. Big Brave gain, force charge, puts your big dodge on that you want. We'll do the EX consecutive rounds. This attack is awesome as well. Curious on the damage here. This is a pretty nice button. Starting to get a little bit of slowdown. Cater's too good. Yeah, look at that. Look at that slowdown. It means my phone's probably getting hot. Ooh, I think it is. Hold on. Ooh, my phone's getting hot. Okay, I'm going to take it off the charger because during one of my previous videos, I actually overheated because it was sitting on the charger and doing too much. All right, so that was pretty good damage there. And I don't want to like have this video go bad. So the EX, AoE attack, it gives her a buff called Lively Magicite Pistolier. And then it puts a Ice Imperil down and a landmine debuff, or a landmine trap. So you see they got a trap on them, which is really nice. And then the landmine is going to be an ice attack that is just going to trigger off turn, which is really nice. So getting the trap on top of all of the other stuff she's doing is actually pretty good. And then the buff that she gets is an attack max brave up, HP damage up, evasion up 30%, 20% brave retain, overflow stolen up, and brave regen scaled on eye brave. So eye brave is, I think, a nice little stat on her because she's got some brave gain on it. Now, if you guys remember, triple slip gives her 80% evasion, but then if you also have this up, it's evasion 30. She actually has a 110% chance to dodge. So provided you have both of these buffs up, you're always dodging. So you don't have to worry about the other one only being 80%. You've got it, you're good to go, right? Now, she also has a wide charge max shot. So this is going to be AoE HP plus. And yeah, 1 mil AoE, that's solid damage as well. So you can use either the single target or the AoE version of her max charge. I wouldn't use it until it's max charge though, okay? Then I have the FR button here to press, but I'm going to do the LD, and we'll do the FR for the actual FR. So let's hit the LD here, which also a very good button to press. Oh yeah, it's a good button. And then we'll hit the BT here. So let's, actually I got to watch the animations here, but then we'll talk about the LD and the BT. Sorry, it's my first time seeing this, so I gotta check out the animations. All right, very cool. All right, so not the craziest burst phase, right? But we weren't in force time or anything. But the LD, Frost Stilling Shot, AoE attack, gives her the magic charge buff, so that's where her HP pluses come from. And then it puts an Ice Imperil down and then puts the Frost Stilling Shot debuff down for 3 turns. And this is the freeze. And you can see it's got like the snowflake icon there. That means they're frozen. The enemies cannot gain brave. Therefore, well, as long as they don't have any brave to begin with, they can't HP damage us, which is very good. So yeah, we got all of that going. And then let's just look at the Frost Stilling Shot debuff here. So that is going to be brave damage taken up. So that means they're going to take more brave damage and then they're frozen. So very, very good, right? All right, so let's get to Beatrix now. Beatrix, yeah, with Beatrix, I mean, we do need to put shock down because we want, yeah, I mean, I want her BT effect up, but we got to make sure we got the shock down because I want to have the pedals going. I think they did start with it, but I want to refresh it. Yeah, we'll just refresh it there because we want this off turn going crazy. And then my boy Reno's got to get BT effect up like ASAP. Pyramid should be okay because we got them pretty locked down here. So sure, let's just go BT. We'll take it. We'll take it. Reno, if you're not familiar with the BT, the reason why he's so good here is his HP plus is going to delay our own party and give the enemies even more turns for Cater to go bananas. Oh, sorry. We're going to talk about Cater BT. So what you're going to notice here, so let's watch really quick. We're going to get traps and we're going to get double counters now. So watch these enemies go. So dodge, counter, double counter, and landmine. And the, yeah. So we just did 700k times 3. So that was just like 2.1 million off turn without a force. That's pretty good. Pretty dang good. So let's talk about the BT because we do have that up, right? So the BT, big AoE attack, 8 turn burst effect, which is amazing. Love this burst effect. So it's party evasion 100%. So the whole party now is dodging even on all attacks, so we can't be touched. Brave damage 50%, brave damage limit up, HP damage limit up, and HP damage up, so all the normal BT buffs, but then Cater gets double counters. So the two big things here, AoE, like full party evasion, and double counters for Cater. So to me, that alone is worth the BT effect. Now with Cater, we're going to go ahead. She does have an AA, by the way, called Blizzard Shot. Let me see if I've got that on my notes here. I don't know that I do. But it is just like we'll just do it. It's just like a free little ice attack you can do. And it's got some generic buffs with it. Sure, you can steal a turn. That's fine. Shoot, I should have put the FR on first, but this is fine. We'll double counter you up. And you're frozen, and we're dodging everything. So the thing with Cater that's so crazy, it's not just that she protects the party. She's got like multiple levels of protection. Because it's like, all right, we've got 100% evasion. okay, wait, you cancel out evasion? We've got the freeze debuff, right? So it's like, what more protection do you need? You've got all of that. Now we're going to hit the FR. This is called Cheerful Yell with Lilith. We'll take it. We will take it. All right, so yeah, 2 mil, pretty standard damage there. All right, so now let's talk about what this bad boy FR is going to do. It's going to be really, really nice. So, AoE attack, she gives herself her charge and dodge, so that's her triple slip buff that gives her all the dodge. Force time effect, now this is a party-wide ice enchant, which is important. So now we have ice enchant. Party HP damage and limit up, especially during weakness damage. And then enemies cannot gain or steal brave. So this is freeze as an aura. So during the entire force, they cannot touch you with freeze and you're dodging everything. How does this team die? Somebody tell me how this team dies. The only way they die is some type of boss like auto kill effect. But otherwise, like, you just don't die. And you're countering like crazy, right? So HP damage conditions are this. Ice ability 5%. 5% seems low, but off turn counts. So all of the off turn stuff, 5% tick, 5% tick, 5% tick. Keep in mind that when Cater's doing double counters in a trap, I think that's going to be 3 ticks. That's going to be 15%. And then if anybody evades, which the whole party's got it, plus 50%, let's try it out. So I could echo here, but I do want BT effect up. So we're going to get full BT effects going. So let's get Beatrix BT. And now we're going to start to have some real fun. And this fight's going to blow up really quick because Reno's going to start delaying us. And the enemies are going to get 1,000,000 turns. And that is exactly what we want. All right, Reno, my boy. How about an HP plus? How about an HP plus? Let's do a little Turks combo here. And watch this. We're going to just get wiped off the board. Bunch of enemy attacks. Have at it. Have at it. Oh, look at that. Reno dodged. Doesn't matter. We still get the 50%. And we'll hit you with a double counter for like, I don't know, what, 4 million, something like that, or 3.7 million. We'll take, and then every time they attack, we're getting 50%. And we're getting 5% ticks on all the counters. So our gauge is just going to go to the moon. And the reason I talk about characters like Galuf, right, as being like really good LD only characters, because when you use comps like this, you don't need echo. These enemies, like, I won't have to echo at all. And these enemies are going to push me up to max gauge in like no time. And we're just countering for days. And then we're basically like in auto mode. And this is some of the funnest, like my most favorite ways to play the game. And that's why I'm so excited about Cater. All right, what are we going to do with Cater here? So, Cater, I mean, we could do like a max charge shot. But, and they're already locked on. Triple slip should be fine. We'll just echo. Let's just echo. And then we can maybe do like some charged HP attacks. We can reapply freeze. Definitely like when Cater's EX comes up, we're definitely going to hit that because we want that trap to pop up again. So on Cater's next turn, we're definitely hitting that trap. All right. And then once again, so the thing that's kind of deceiving about these teams, we're going to delay ourselves with Reno, is that you're never going to see like the 70 mil shots, 100 mil shots that these offensive characters do. But look at all of the damage like per turn we're getting because, you know, we can add up all of these counters together as like one gigantic attack. So Cater there just countered for 8.4 million. And then here's another attack. Here's another, what do we got? 9 million here. Plus this enemy goes. So we just did like an 8 million, a 9 million. We're raising the gauge. Here's another 9 point something mil. So we just did, I don't know, 28 million damage on that one turn. Because it's like per one character turn, right? Now Beatrix is up. Beatrix, I think it's time for a little echo. We'll keep this gauge going. So then like you can echo just to keep your gauge up. But you can see at 600%, we were going to get there even without the echo. But we'll you know, stretch this thing out as much as we can. So there's a nice little 18 mil shot. Cater is up. I mean, I've got BT attack, but I don't need it. Her BT effect is still good. We're going to EX and reapply the trap. So now this round's going to get insane because they're going to take the extra trap damage. Now, the bummer is the trap is only a one turn, but I mean, anything more than that would probably be too busted. There's 50. Here's the landmine. Yep, and that is an extra 5% tick. Yep, and then we're just going to be countering up. Counter, counter. Now that left enemy lock, we got to reapply lock. So on Cater's next turn, we got to relock them. Because that's the thing is when enemies take a lot of turns, they do burn through the debuffs very quickly, right? So I'm actually not going to, normally I'd want a Turks combo to delay, but I need Cater to get her lock on. So I'm actually going to echo here. So this is a good time to echo with Reno just to take a normal turn. Then we're going to reapply lock with Blizzara ROK. And then the enemies won't be okay. So we use Blizzara ROK and the enemies won't be okay. That's kind of the plan. So Blizzara ROK, we got lock back on. Good, 6-turn lock. Now they're just going to only attack Cater and now they're dead. So he's going to go from 50% to very low very quickly. Okay, we do now need to get a Reno turn because now I'm just really wanting to delay us. But yeah, we're just pushing up that gauge like no problem. Yeah, we'll echo again. We'll just keep this party rolling. Why not? Why not keep the party rolling? We'll keep it rolling. And then the pedals going off. Woo! So here's the thing too. I saw people like in my comments like, oh, I don't know if I have the right characters to run with her. You don't have to have this like all out defense comp to run her. Like you can just toss her in on a team. She's going to do her thing. But there are a lot of like this type of team, you can get away with a lot of budget options, right? So hold on, let me think about what I want to do here. Let's check out like what, let's do like a charge shot. What do you got there? Yeah, dude, like she just popped off like 30 mil on turn. And then we got all the off turn. But like a character like Trey, LD only, is going to work great with Cater, right? You know, so some of these characters, like if you just need a character with traps and you've got options out there and you can be very budget with this because once again, you're not relying on like crazy on-turn damage, burst phase, whatever. You can just take it slow, let the enemies attack you and you're good. So this here, I mean, sounds like EX time, right? Let's put some more trappity traps down. Because on top of everything else, why not also give her traps? All right, now this is where the fight actually ends. Because Reno's going to delay us into oblivion. So the thing that like they designed Kelger... Oh, sorry, we just killed him. Dang it, I wanted more. Like, it ended too soon. And this is not like this is an old fight. Like, Kelger's still pretty new. But the part I was going to say, the reason why Kelger was designed so freaking well is they were very smart to give his counters like a gravity so he doesn't break the enemies and the enemies stay up. The problem you have here that you see is like we pushed ourselves back, but we end up like breaking them a lot off turn and pushing them back. But yeah, Cater's freaking crazy. So anyways, let me know what you think of this girl. My synopsis is Unga Bunga off turn damage and how the hell do you die? Like, how do you die? Somebody go in the comments. Tell me how you die with Cater on your team. I would love to know. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.